grass bed eddies can be really productive. They can also be really frustrating because they eat jerkbaits. I just had to stop and hop out of the kayak and get this one unstuck. But let's back off, and I got a couple other grass beds coming up here. Let's go target those. So don't charge right up onto it. You do want to fish the more downstream parts of it first. I like to start with the current seam towards the back of it. You know, we have nice calm water back here that most people come in and park right on top of it and cast right up at the grass bed. That's a big mistake. You definitely, especially as the river is coming down, or maybe is down a little bit from a recent, you know, high water mark. You do not want to push right into the calm water. I'm holding position back from it enough that, you know, if I came off of the motor, if I came off of the Torpedo, I would slip downstream. So I'm not really in the eddy yet. I'm staying back from it and I'm casting up into it, even the more downstream parts of this eddy. Now, if you feel like you're crashing the downstream part of the eddy without even knowing it, because you're maybe not that experienced at reading water, one of the best things that you can do in order to not do that is to do what I've just done and actually park yourself right on top of it and then cast downstream. There goes one. Nice grass bed fish. We're gonna zoom back up to where this guy hit, and we're gonna look at what I refer to as the taper up of one grass bed going into an eddy and then into another grass bed. So if you have two of them in a row, that's a really great place to target, is the taper up. Let's zoom up there and take a look. So not all grass bed eddies are productive. The ones that I like to target, the ones that I catch the most fish off of, tend to have good depth on the downstream side, and especially grass beds that, you know, you have one part here and then immediately behind it you have another broken off part of it and some deep water in between. Let's see if that's the case for this one. Okay, that feels like a little bit better grass bed fish. I'm going to loosen the drag. Yeah, that was absolutely dead sticked at the base of the third grass bed in a row. So nice looking fish. I gotta get my net away from him. I got one hook in him and a very light drag because I adjusted the drag, which was very important. I loosened it, and this moderate action rod is keeping this fish buttoned. Just barely. Just barely. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Let's take a look at this fish, this jerkbait, and then we'll zoom back up to that grass bed. All right, you can see the importance of my loosening the drag. That jerkbait was just barely in him, but it was in his mouth as I was fighting the fish, and he shed it. He got the jerkbait out of his mouth and it hooked him in the side, and I just barely had him. So I've zoomed all the way up to the topmost grass bed, and we're gonna kind of turn down and just take a look at him. I want to actually run through there with the depthfinder, and because what I think is the case is where you have 1, two, and then the third one, I think the third one downstream had the deeper water behind it. And really, that's really what you're looking for. We're fairly shallow here in swift current, and we're at about 2.5, 3 feet. We're coming up behind the first one. I didn't get any fish out of here, so I'd sort of be surprised. Yeah, it's not dropping off real good. Maybe you can see it's just a little bit deeper on the backside of that first grass bed than it was out in the main chute. So we're still up in that 2.5 foot range. Here we're at the second one, and this one actually has a nice double feature. It has a little cut through. I was hopeful of this, where this ends and then you have this open area where there's no grass through this lane. I was hopeful of that. That can be a really good producing spot, but I didn't get anything out of it. We get up into the grass again. We're going right over some of it, and it's still relatively shallow. We'll see, it'll probably drop off a little bit, but it is the third one. Yeah, we're still not getting significant depth, and I hate to run over it, but I'm because I've only caught one fish, and I think there's more fish behind this one. This third one, which is 1, 2, 3 in a row, I believe has the greater depth. So far, we've only seen 2.5, maybe approaching 3 feet. Let's see what's on the backside of this one. So 2.5. And we're coming right over the last little bit of it, and the fish that I got was right in the middle of this eddy here. So we're gonna see. It's a little bit deeper. I will tell you, it's a little bit wider. All right. Got the Sharpie marker out and the clipboard. I'm going to do a little illustration to hopefully really drive home this lesson on fishing jerkbaits behind grass beds. All right, this is what we just experienced. I did get one little one in the taper up right on the upstream side of one of them. The taper up is always a good area for them to hang out, especially in summer. I think that's more of a summertime grass bed way to work them than this time of year, where our water temperature right now is 46, 47 degrees. There was nothing in this one, even though it was a nice double feature here. It wasn't until I got from that 2 foot deep